Hello, welcome back to this C primer for load runner. And so we have already discussed two concepts, which are data types in C and control structure. In this video, our goal is to take a look at the loop structure. So first need to understand why we need loop. Say for example, I want to run a I want to request a web page. Okay, I want to request a web page, let's say 20 times. Okay, so how do I do that? So for that requesting web page, load runner is going to give you a function something like web underscore URL and some parameters. How can we execute this thing 20 times? Okay, so the naive approach is write web underscore URL, whatever the function is, that copy that function and paste it 20 times. Okay, and that is one approach. The second approach is to use a loop structure in C that is called for loop. So what for loop is going to do, first you declare a variable and let's say int I, and then what I'm going to do, inside the for loop I is equal to start with 0 and then I is less than 20. Okay, then I plus plus, then the loop started, and inside that loop I will put that function web underscore URL. Okay, so if I do, then what does it mean? At this line the counter is going to start with 0 and then it will execute. Then it will check that if 0 is less than 20, that is true. That's if it's true, then it will increment the counter value, and the counter value will become now 1. The counter value is going to become 1 now, and then again this thing's going to get executed. Then comes back and see, like if 1 is less than 20, that's true. Then okay, let's increment this I to 2, so now I become 2, and then execute this thing. So that means if you do this for loop, it will execute 20 times. So this is what is we call a for loop. Similarly, another loop structure we have, that is called while loop. So what you can do, you can do while I less than 20, then and then you call that web underscore URL. So using this thing, we are going to have 20 times and then web underscore URL increment I after the web underscore URL. So this way, this we can execute web underscore URL 20 times using while loop. Another varieties of loop, that is called do while loop. So number 3 is called do while. Okay, so in case of for loop and while loop, we have a condition. Okay, but in do while loop, you first do the action, then condition check. So that means do while loop will traverse, will loop one time irrespective of the condition, because the condition is checked after doing the loop. However, in case of for loop and while loop, we check the condition first and then we enter to the looping blocks. Alright, so that is the difference between while and do while. So in case you have to do action once, then do while is the way to go. Alright, so this is how your script is going to look like. So this is the this is for loop. Okay, so for I is equal to 1, I less than 10, I plus plus. So this will print me 9 times. Alright, and then this is the syntax for while loop, and remember that in while loop I am incrementing this thing. So a lot of time what people do, they forget this, they forget incrementing this thing. Guess what's going to happen? In that case, this loop is going to run infinitely, because we are not increasing the counter, and therefore so this is going to run forever. Okay, and this is the syntax for do while loop. And here again I have already done a mistake here. I am not incrementing the loop counter. Okay, so therefore what I have to do, I have to put here I plus plus. I plus plus is going to increment the value of I. Okay, so this is in general the while loop. So with the looping structure and conditional structure, you have already ability to manipulate what C user function is going to run, what is not going to run, what we can skip, and so on. Say for example, if you remember the demo script that we have created in our chapter 1, that demo script used to have this kind of scenario where we are logging in, and let's say this is so this is an activity, login activity. Then we are doing a browse course, then we are doing browse books, and then we are logging out. So in one of the video that I told you to simulate something that you just log in only once and you log out once, then you browse 10 times and browse books 80 times. So 20 times. So 20 times you browse course and 80 times you browse books. So guess what? How you are going to do it now? With all this knowledge that you got so far, using the conditionals, loops, and data types, you can code yourself in C so that you can, you know, you can loop this browse course activity 20 times. You can loop this browse books activity 80 times and log in and log out once. So this is how you will use C programming language to enhance your script, to customize your script to what you need.